So I guess, first of all, wanted to kind of hear your thoughts. So new reports coming out about the DA's office and their decision to drop charges against that officer. I guess, first of all, just kind of want to hear your reaction to this.
Well, we were very upset that the DA did not pursue justice against Miguel Deris in the case of our daughter. So he betrayed her. She trusted him. She sent her evidence to him, and instead of trying to arrest the man who was committing crimes against her, he instead just used the evidence for his own enjoyment.
When you heard that this had come to light, that the officer had been using this evidence inappropriately, what went through your mind?
I was really just shocked. It seemed like there's no bottom to the way that so many people let Lauren down when she was trying to get help in seeking protection and help and to justice, really, against this man.
I wanted to ask you about a tweet you made recently here yesterday. You had 3 questions for the DA's office. Kind of hoping you could kind of walk me through that. So, did you read the full police report? Are you afraid to prosecute police officers? And do you understand the harm that this has done? Kind of talk to me about where was that tweet coming from? And is this following kind of hearing that news, or?
Yeah, well, I did speak with the district attorney on the phone prior to the announcement, and I tried to make the case that he should go ahead and prosecute. Under the law, there are some laws that you can't distribute a naked picture of someone without their consent. So it's based on revenge porn laws. And so I was trying to make that case to him, and I felt like he didn't know the facts of the case when he called me. And so I just wanted to make sure that he actually read the Department of Public Safety report. And so that's why I asked that question. The second question, it seems like he was focused on officer misconduct charges. And I was thinking, well, it should be wrong for anyone to distribute a picture or to share a picture of them without their consent. And so I was thinking, well, why won't he charge him with that? You know, do police officers have special rights? And I don't think they do. They have to obey the law also. So that's why I asked, are you afraid to charge a police officer? And the third one, I also wanted to make sure that he understood the ramifications of not charging the police officer. So in the future, women will be less likely to come forward and report that someone's committing a crime against them if they think that the officer can just share their private evidence without any consequences. And so that's what is happening here. At least no criminal consequences. He did get fired, and I hope that the police organization that reviews misconduct by officers, I hope that they take away his license so he can't be an officer somewhere else. You know, because I hope that no other woman has to go to him and ask for protection, or ask for help, ask for crimes to be prosecuted, because he did a horrible job in his interactions with my daughter.
And it sounds like the DA's office wasn't able to pin down in their case that the officer had downloaded or in that sense distributed by attempting to download the images. It was used off of that phone. But you believe that wasn't the case, that those images were distributed in some way that qualifies for that.
Yes. Well, so you can look at a picture that is attached to an email on your phone. You don't have to download it. You can look at it. And so it was documented in the report that he showed it on multiple occasions. And so he showed it 3 times to ask how to treat evidence, which seems, maybe he's slow, but it doesn't seem like you'd need to ask 3 times and you don't even need to show a picture to ask how to handle a file. But he did that, and that was considered work related. But he also showed it during a briefing meeting to people who weren't involved in the case, and went around to the table and showed it to each person. And then after the meeting, he showed it in the hallway to 3 more people, and that's when he made inappropriate comments. And then finally, he showed it at the crime scene, where just another officer who wasn't involved with the investigation said, "I wonder what she looked like." And then he chooses to show that picture, even though he had a picture of her driver's license. So he could look at it at any time. He might have, I don't know whether he downloaded or not. He changed his phone, and I think he was very nervous about when they tried to go through his phone. But I think he even changed his phone twice, so he was trying to cover his tracks, I think.
It sounds like from reports that part of the investigation hinged on testimony from officers he had spoken with or shown the photos to.
Yes.
They don't sound very convinced at giving their testimony, and I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Well, 3 officers were fired over it, and that's been documented by the Salt Lake Tribune. And I know that one officer was admitting to everything. Maybe the other officers who were fired don't want to self-incriminate, so they might not be forthcoming. But if they were put on the witness stand, they would either have to say something or take the fifth.
This isn't going to stop your work with the foundation, though.
No. I wanted the prosecution to go through, even if it was just a misdemeanor, which is what I expected, just for some justice for Lauren. But in the bigger picture, we are working with the Lauren McCluskey Foundation to change the culture, one person at a time. And a big part of that is Lauren's promise, which is that I will listen and believe if someone is threatening you. And we hope to help people to know about it and to adopt it and to commit to it, and just work more broadly nationally to make sure that campuses are safer, but more overall that women are safer.
The last time we spoke, that was about the time Kugelum here, the ASWSU at the time had taken a stance rather with improving campus safety and following kind of your leadership there. How would you say campuses are doing now? Would you say you've seen improvement in your efforts?
I have. There's a number of schools have adopted Lauren's promise. So far, I have, just from people who've contacted me, professors at more than 40 universities have adopted it. A number of the associated student leadership groups are adopting it. And I know it's making a difference because, just professors are telling me stories that they had Lauren's promise on their syllabus, and that a student came to them and they were able to connect them with resources and help them. And I just wish that someone who cared and had the authority to maybe make the police move forward would have cared about Lauren in that way, that would have helped Lauren. So I think things are getting better, and WSU is very committed to campus safety. They all the all the campuses adopted Lawrence Promise, but through the associated students. WSU Tri-Cities just recently held a workshop about the best way to implement Lawrence Promise, and we are mandatory reporters, so in considering those types of issues, and if someone wants to stay confidential, here's what you need to do, things like that. So it's things are happening, and we just hope to get more people to commit to these ideas and move forward.
It really sounds like you mentioned that this is making an impact, and that her legacy is not in vain. It's helping other people kind of move their way through it and feel like they are safe. And it sounds like that's her legacy now.
Yes, I think it is, and we plan to continue to build on that. I know that she would approve of it and would be happy to know it's happening.
Last question before I have you go. What happens now? So the DA has dropped those charges. What happens next? And I was hoping maybe a quick update on there were two. Your family filed 2 lawsuits. Where are we at, kind of in moving forward with this?
Okay. So with Miguel Darris, I think he will not be prosecuted. I've still asked for them to reconsider for him to be prosecuted. He is being reviewed by the post. So the police officers standards, I don't know what post stands for, so sorry. For our lawsuit, we are in conversations with the university, and to consider how we might go forward with them. So we're discussing and seeing if we can come together.